All right, hey, welcome to the Double Click. This is the segment where we tell manufacturers the so what about all these great news articles that we've been producing. Joined here with Danny Silverman today. Thanks for joining us. Hey, before we get started, April 24th and 25th, this is the E-Commerce Accelerator Summit. What are we doing, Danny?
Yeah, on the first day is the One-Click Retail Amazon Hackathon. The second day, we'll be leading the 6Ps e-commerce intelligence session, a whole range of excellent speakers and experts to tell you everything about how to accelerate your business in e-commerce.
Okay, so Danny, today we're talking about voice. That's the topic of today's discussion. So you guys have been doing this crazy study about voice. Tell me a little bit about it.
Sure, so Clavis harvests over 10,000 search terms per day from Amazon US alone. For the last couple of years, we've been tracking those search results and taking a look for different indicators that might also pertain to voice search. First question that we want to take a look at is, well, what are people using Alexa for?
So it was amazing. So you have Jeff Bezos that comes and he shows up in Billboard magazine recently, right? I mean, seriously, what is it with bald guys who have tons of success, want to walk around in black shirts and aviators?
Got a problem with it?
Guess not. But what he ended up saying was exactly what we've all been thinking, right? He says, voice interface is only going to take you so far on shopping. Most online shopping is going to be facilitated by having a display. Okay, so he's telling us, plain and simple, shopping is not the main piece that we're going to have on Alexa. What is it that we're finding that people are using it for?
First and foremost, tasks and music. Next thing is home automation.
Here's the thing. We did an article about this last November on home automation. What did we find here? 71% growth in devices that connect with Alexa on a year-over-year basis. And we predicted 565 million in sales. Amazon blew it away this year, even more than that. And fascinating part, #1 brand for voice connected device, Nest. Fascinating because Amazon just ended up discontinuing Google's Nest device from their stores this week. What else are they doing?
So the other thing is there's a big rush of skills development. So this is not unlike a few years ago when a lot of brands were rushing to build their own brand apps because they felt that they needed to explore the mobile space and have an app for their own brand that would connect with their consumers.
Do they need it? Are people using the skills?
The reality is of over 30,000 skills are now available. A tiny percentage are actually being downloaded and even less are used more than once.
Okay, so not really important to have a skill for your brand that you have there. Shopping, okay? What we have found on shopping, this study shows that 32% of customers have ever purchased an item one time on Alexa, let alone this repeat device.
It drops off even further after the first purchase.
That brings us to point number 2, this focus on the fundamentals. Because I don't care if you're talking about mobile device, if you're talking desktop, if you're talking about this voice, the focus on the fundamentals, it's going to be the same everywhere, right?
That's right. So when you search a search term on desktop or mobile, you'll get page 1 results. You might look at the first 3, 5, 10, 15 results. What happens when you search on Alexa? You only get 2 results.
How is it that Alexa is choosing what products to surface?
Sure. So there's 3 levels of what might potentially happen. So let's say I've previously purchased this Oral-B electric toothbrush for my son, and I say, Alexa, reorder children's electric toothbrush. She's going to look into my purchase history, and she's going to reorder it. Nothing further. Said, okay, purchased, that's it, it's in the cart, and it's on its way to me.
Okay, but what if I've never purchased this device? Then what?
So from there, Alexa's going to go to search results. To facilitate that, a few years ago when Amazon first came out with Echo, they created a tag called Amazon's Choice. Amazon's Choice, we've learned, is a dynamic tag that is assigned to certain items based on a number of different factors.
What are the factors? Tell me more.
It has to be available through Prime, so shipped by Amazon, could be first party or third party. It has to be available and replenishable, and finally it has to have a rating of 4.0 or better.
Okay, let's go to the third piece then.
Yep.
Organic search results that we're talking about here.
Yep, so again, this comes back to the original fundamentals. If there's no history, if there's no Amazon Choice, it's going to go back to organic search results, and that comes all back to your original fundamentals. Keywords, title, feature bullets, descriptions.
Yeah, in fact, what we have found when we were doing our study on search is it's content. Click conversion, meaning I searched for this and then I converted to this and I clicked on it. And then sales conversion, not only did I click on it, then I ended up purchasing it. And Amazon continues to evolve their search algorithm again and again and again.
All right, Spencer, so sum it up for me. I'm a brand manager, I'm an e-commerce director, the CEO gives me a call and says, I just read this article about voice, it's the biggest thing. What do I tell him?
Okay, here's what it comes down to. It's all about prioritization. Because if you're the CEO of a music business, Absolutely, this has got to be one of our first priorities that we have. If we're a CEO of a consumer brand, it's going to end up becoming a little bit less because we're down here on shopping, whereas if we're home automation, maybe it's a middle ground that we have here. But what I am going to focus in on is fundamentals.
That's right.
Why is it that we want to care about the fundamentals?
Because at the end of the day, the same things that drive voice search is what drives desktop and mobile. If you have the data and you have the insights to understand what's working and what's not, and you optimize against those for desktop and mobile, you'll win for voice at the same time.
You got to be prime, you got to be in stock, you got to have a 4+ star review, and oh, by the way, you got to use the terms that your customers search for, not those terms that we fall in love with inside of our organization. Okay, hey, thanks again for joining us on the Double Click. If you want more information about the Accelerator Summit, go ahead and click on the link in the description, and thanks again for joining us.